What's up, guys? Wade Willis here to break down chapter 1061 for One Piece. This chapter is titled Egghead, the Island of the Future, and we get a reveal of someone that was mentioned first in chapter 433. So this is something we've been really waiting for. Let's get into it, guys. Oda, last like 4 or 5 chapters, has been blowing it out of the park every single time, and this was another absolutely amazing chapter. And we pick up right where we left off from last week. Luffy's out in the air trying to save Jewelry Bonnie and Chopper. And while Luffy's saving her, Bonnie mentions that there's a monster underneath them. Now, initially when I heard that, I was like, okay, how strong could this thing be? And then we see it's a giant freaking shark that is like, I don't know, 100 times the size of the Sunny, maybe 50. And it's underneath the Sunny trying to eat it. Not looking good for our crew. Now this shark monster is no joke. Actually is made out of metal, we find out. And yeah, is absolutely massive. So is it a cyborg shark? Is it just straight up a robot shark? I'm not quite sure, but this thing is not messing around. And then Jinbei shows why he is so important to this crew. He realizes that Luffy, Bonnie, and Chopper have fallen into the sea. He needs to go save them. Who is better at saving people who've fallen into a sea than a fishman? That is such an important character to have in your crew when you have so many devil fruit users. Now, if you thought this shark's power was already absolutely OP, just wait. It can shoot rockets from its head.
Beams attached to their heads? Cool!
No, not laser beams, rockets. The Sunny starts to capsize. Nico Robin and Nami, I believe, fall overboard. It's absolute pandemonium. And Jinbei has to take the Devil Fruit users, dive underwater with them, which is not great for these Devil Fruit users, to try to avoid these missiles, rockets that are being launched around. And then we see this giant robot, like as big as the shark, just straight up Falcon Punch it. And I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw the robot, I was like, wait, is this another General Frankie thing? But it is not, based on obviously the size, and then there's a particular name on it as well. Then we are taken to a nearby island that is a G-14 naval base. At this island, Tashigi is taking care of all those kids that went through the giant experiments from Caesar Clown. And she's giving them stuff to make them kind of shrink down, apparently. Now, she mentions, like, to the kid, like, oh yeah, I can barely notice you because you shrunk so much. They still look pretty massive, but I'm guessing this treatment's probably going to take a while, and I hope it actually works because I loved all these kids on Punk Hazard. I just felt so bad for everything that they were going through. We get introduced to Vice Admiral Dahl, and I'm pretty sure this is the first time we've actually seen her face. And guys, this is where we really start to see that this is the waifu chapter. If you like kind of goth, punkish girls, Vice Admiral Dahl is for you. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm pretty excited to see her in the future. She's complaining to Tashigi about Helmeppo, who's currently losing his mind, along with Hibari, about Kobe being taken captive. And we see Helmeppo begging Rear Admiral Prince Gruss to go to the pirate island to get Kobe. If you guys don't realize, and I think everyone knows this, Pirate Island is obviously Blackbeard's island, and Gruss wants nothing to do with it. Yeah, I mean, Blackbeard's strong as hell. I don't necessarily blame Gruss from being a bit worried about it, especially since one of their own men got taken already. Helmeppo brings up that they're so close to Egghead Island and that they can just send a Seraphim over to help them out. Now, guys, I think this is, we've already shown that this is a nearby island when we were introduced to it, and then this is brought up again. I think it's kind of obvious that we are going to go into a plot with kind of the Straw Hats being around Tashigi and those people again, maybe working with the Navy to try to get Kobe back, which I'm actually a fan of. I like kind of the coordination between the Navy and the Straw Hats. It's pretty fun when it happens. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen, and I think it is going to happen. And this also tells us that the Seraphim are probably chilling on Egghead Island, where things are about to get wild, huh? Griss basically tells Himeppo, like, he can't get a hold of Drake right now, and this is not the time to act for them. Now, I could see Himeppo kind of going on his own. There's a few different ways I could see this going in the future, but I'll get more into that in kind of my prediction video I'll have out later. Then we're taken to Luffy's group, which is on shore, so good for them. Bonnie cannot believe that Luffy does not know who she is. We as the readers are absolutely not shocked that he doesn't remember her. Luffy's met like a million people in these like 2 years he's been at sea, or 3 years. And he just always forgets people. It's hilarious. And yeah, Bonnie is in her adult form. So that's great for us, especially considered what's happening in this scene where she's wringing out her shirt. And I'd be lying if I said I was not a fan of this panel. Bonnie, again, waifu chapter for sure. She's looking good. But yeah, Bonnie's saying the normal thing that the worst generation says to each other. Hey, we're enemies, but hey, thanks for saving me type of thing. And Luffy, being his normal jokester self, he's like, yeah, no problem, Boogie. He's such a ridiculous character. He is the only person who can get away with saying things like that to such notorious pirates. It cracks me up. Bonnie brings up how Luffy's hair isn't white when she sees him. And how the newspapers were kind of making a big deal about his hair being white. So, I have a lot of questions. One, do they know that he has awakened his devil fruit? Do they know that this is now a mythical zone devil fruit? Did they put this in the newspaper? I'd like to see what's in these newspapers. That we're getting a lot of information missing because we're kind of seeing it through Luffy's eyes a lot of the time. And he doesn't want to know what's going on in him. But yeah, Luffy responds, this is the look that he has when he's totally free. I thought that was a pretty cool answer, and probably going to be pretty important in the future. Bonnie then asks if Luffy's scared about his crew, and he just shrugs it off. He knows they're powerful as hell. He's got multiple people with over 1 billion berry bounties in his crew. 2 of them are actually on the Sunny right now. He knows they'll be okay. Bonnie's just like in shock, watching Luffy act the fool, and she's like, how in the heck is Jinbei the Knight of the Sea in your crew too? She's just in absolute shock. We also find out that Bonnie came alone. She didn't come with her crew, and that mecha shark ate her ship. We are reminded that Luffy and Bonnie have something very important in common. They're always really hungry. They're probably like 2 of the most hungry people in the world. I think Blackbeard is up there too. So it's kind of interesting. We see another person who's always starving. Luffy wants to go to a restaurant, and she calls him out and is like, dude, you don't know where the heck we are? We're on Egghead Island. This is where Dr. Vegapunk's research lab is. There's going to be no restaurants here. Luffy, kind of surprisingly, not surprisingly, remembers Vegapunk's name. So that's good he remembered that one. I mean, he's probably heard it about 100 times. So, yeah, we know that we're on this island. We've been told that Seraphims are here. Dr. Vegapunk's been alluded to over and over again. This is going to be a crazy arc, I can tell. Well, it's a final arc, but I think we will spend a decent amount of time on this island. I wonder if I'm the only person that feels this way, but I really got Punk Hazard vibes here. I already see a lot of parallels. One, we have a warlord with them, and the way she's interacting with Luffy right now reminds me a lot of like just how Law would see Luffy handle things, and when he's forming the alliance, and he's like, "What the hell am I getting myself into? How's this guy so powerful? He's an absolute Dum Dum. So I was getting those vibes, and then yeah, we have the Vegapunk lab in the background, and we're gonna find out about some crazy experiments, I think too. So um, I like Punk Hazard a lot more than other people, but I feel like this looks like there's gonna be a lot of parallels to it, in my opinion, at least the initial part of this arc. Bonnie also mentioned something I believe we've been told previously that this island is 500 years in the future technologically. So, yeah, I think this is going to be one of the cooler like chapters when we're spending time here because Oda can really get into his bag using his imagination. I'm thinking some like crazy Dexter's Laboratory type of stuff. I'm hoping we see some really zany things here. And and yeah, I'm here for it. And then yeah, Bonnie also tells Luffy and his crew that she has business with Vegapunk. Now, we can kind of theorize in this, and I will get more into this in another video, but we kind of already know that she has some type of relationship with Kuma, and Kuma was obviously experimented on by Vegapunk. So I think that is probably the reason Bonnie's there, but yeah, I guess we will see. Now, I mentioned that a giant robot Falcon punched the shark. We're transported back to the crew that's on the Sunny and this whole shark fiasco that's going on. And we see someone emerging from this giant robot, and it's a girl. And she's complaining about failures and just kind of about how her calculations might have been off. Something's awry. Frankie tells this mysterious girl, like, hey, thanks for saving us. And this girl keeps kind of going on about, like, after Frankie says thank you, about how her calculations were incorrect and just all this same kind of jazz. Now, I don't know if anyone else got the same vibes, but for me, when I saw this girl, at first I thought it was Uta from the film Red, which I haven't seen yet. It's supposed to be coming to the US soon, but the way like the earphone things, it reminded me a lot of her. So, and I think this might have been on purpose. I don't know, but yeah, she tells. Finally, it clicks in her head, like, "Oh, you think I saved you? You like silly pirates." I've actually worked for the government. She refers to herself as being like mediocre, but the government refers to her as their like genius scientist. She's like, you can call me Dr. Vegapunk. Finally got Dr. Vegapunk revealed to us. I'm just going to refer to her as Dr. Vegapunk. She is looking pretty hot, in my opinion. Again, waifu chapter right here. You got the goth punk girl. You got the pirate girl, Bonnie, who's, I mean, she's just hot. And then you got Dr. Vegapunk. Now, it's interesting on her outfit, it says Punk 2 on there. Does this mean this is Dr. Vegapunk's daughter? Also Dr. Vegapunk? There's like a lot of ways. Is it an android? We could look at it a million different ways. But for right now, this person is referring to themselves as Dr. Vegapunk. And guys, I'm here for it. There is so much that we can do in this location seems like the Seraphim are here. We know this is like Dr. Vegapunk's like current laboratory where she's doing these crazy experiments. The Navy base is right by. The Navy wants to use the Seraphim to go save Kobe, which I'm gonna guess that this pirate island is probably not too far away. So I think that's might be where they go next. Are they going to be fighting against Vegapunk? Maybe initially, maybe in the future they become allies. I don't know. There's a lot of things in here. I got a lot of questions, but again, this new arc is starting off great. I am so pumped to see where it goes from here. But yeah, guys, let me know what you thought in the comments below.